On the night of September 19 to 20th, 1961, Betty and Barney Hill, a Portsmouth, New Hampshire couple, encounter what they believe to be a UFO while driving back home from vacation at the Niagara Falls, headed south on Route 3, Daniel Webster Highway, near Lincoln. According to reports, the Hills were not public about their claims of having been abducted by aliens during the first few years after their encounter. It wasn't until 1965 that their story became widely reported on after being leaked by the Boston Traveler, making the Hills abduction case the first widely reported UFO abduction story in the United States. During the drive home from vacation with her husband while driving through the White Mountains of New Hampshire, the couple experienced an extraterrestrial phenomenon. They described the encounter as follows. It was around 10:30 p.m., the couple, Betty and Barney Hill, were driving back from vacation when Betty spotted a bright point of light in the sky. At first Betty claims that she believed the bright spot of light to be a shooting star as it passed by near the moon. She later realizes the object can't be a shooting star based off its maneuverability and increasingly bright colors. Curious of what the object could be, the couple pull into a nearby picnic area, just south of Twin Mountain, to get a better look. I should note that they noticed the bright light appeared to be following them. As a World War II veteran and a plane enthusiast, Barney Hill did not think much of the light at first. He figured the light could not be coming from a commercial plane at the least, explaining the light could be a satellite. The couple continued to drive as the light followed behind them. Eventually, Barney grew concerned enough to pull off the road to get a better look. Through a pair of binoculars, Betty Hill describes seeing an odd-shaped object spinning in the air, flashing with colors. Barney also looks through the binoculars and has no explanation for what he sees. Soon after observing the strange craft, they get back into their car and keep on driving. As the couple near Lincoln, on Route 3, the bright light abruptly takes halt just 100 feet above their car. Barney steps out of the car with his handgun in hand, staring up at something he described as being as big as a jet, but as flat as a pancake. He sees beings in grayish-colored suits standing in the craft, and after trying to take aim and not being able to lift his arm towards the craft, Barney leaps back into the car and speeds off, fearing he and Betty are about to be captured. At some point, Betty and Barney Hill heard strange beeping noises coming from their trunk. They describe feeling sick and dizzy just before they lost consciousness. After months of therapy sessions and hypnosis, the couple began to recall what happened to them that night. According to the Hills, grayish-colored beings had led them up a long ramp into their spacecraft. Once inside, the Hills were separated and individually tested. They were led to a metal table and then asked to remove their clothes and then to lay on the table, where the gray beings began to pluck their hairs, take clippings from their nails, and peel off parts of their skin. Samples were placed on something that resembled a glass slide. The gray beings also probed needles into their arms, legs, and heads. Betty recalled that one needle was even inserted into her stomach inside her navel, which she described as a very painful experience, as part of some kind of pregnancy test. One of the most convincing pieces of this phenomenon would have to be the star map model. While on board the spacecraft, Betty recalls the leader of the gray beings showing her some kind of 3D map, or even a holographic projection of a map of their home and where they came from. What's so important about the star map? Well, for starters, the data from the Gliese catalog was not published until 1969, 5 years after the star map was drawn by Betty Hill. In 1969, the Gliese catalog published an update of all known stars within a 72 light-year radius, which cataloged 1,529 stars. And on October 7, 1972, Betty received a letter describing the similarities found between the star map she had drawn almost 10 years ago, and a star system which the sender of the letter had recently uncovered. Marjorie Fish sent the letter to Betty Hill describing a star system she had found that bears resemblance to the star map she had drawn years ago. After utilizing the Gliese catalog update, a star system called the Zeta Reticuli was determined to be the place of origin of these gray beings. In July of 2011, a roadside marker was placed at the site of the alleged first approach of the UFO by the New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources. You can find most of Betty Hill's notes, tapes and more inside a permanent collection at the University of New Hampshire.